listening to the Iterators of the Imperium.
Hi, I'm Miss, and I'm here with my lovely co-host, Ryan, and you're listening to Season 7, or Septim, Ryan. I still know the Latin word for it.
Yeah.
Of the Iterators of the Imperium podcast. The podcast which Ryan is the expert on Warhammer 40k, and I am the noob, still here this many seasons in, trying to learn about the Warhammer universe. And well, we're shifting back from our Exploring the Galaxy episodes.
Yes.
You guys should have had them now. They should be up, right, Ryan? If I'm
At time of recording, the first is up. The Tau Empire one is up.
Ooh,
so
we hope you guys enjoy that.
Yeah.
More to come. Yeah.
Probably a couple more by the time this season starts actually going live. We got delayed so much by my moving house.
It's fine. So we gotta get a new studio, maybe. Never know.
You never know.
But yeah,
So
we're jumping back to it. So Dante.
yeah, so far in his storyline, we covered his childhood and his journey to become an aspirant at the chapter, and then his time training within the chapter, and the kind of revelations that come from that. Like he decided that he was never going to take blood from a living creature again, things like that.
Yes.
And when we left off, he had risen to the rank of brother sergeant, and he was, in charge of the recruiting now. So he was going around announcing that the trials were coming up. So he went back to his original place and told them, and had to skirt around the fact that they all clearly know who he is without telling them who he is.
Yeah.
So we're moving on from there. So we're moving on to it's actually relatively modern now that I think about it, because from brother sergeant he rises to the rank of captain of the 8th company by, I think it's around 750 of the 40th millennia. So 40,750, around there he becomes a captain of the 8th company. But that's not really a very important or very big story, right? What we're talking about is a bit closer to the end of the 40th millennia. Right? This is where it gets important again. Because we don't know him as Captain Dante. We know him as, Chapter Master Dante, Commander Dante. So this is the story we need to get to next. This is the next big bit. So, Captain of the 8th, and then a couple hundred years later, we don't know an exact date for this, but it is towards the end of this 40th millennia. There is a pretty major event for the Blood Angels, not for the galaxy as a whole, but that goes on called the Callius Insurrection. So Callius is just a little subsector of space. That's all it is. It's nothing major, right? Before this, it probably was known for absolutely nothing. Afterwards, it was known for the Callius Insurrection. That's it. Nothing important goes on here, really. And it kind of starts off the way that basically every other story in Warhammer goes on, right? There is a chaos uprising in a random area of space. That's all it is, right? And chaos uprising usually means that, the general populace are being attacked or being converted into some chaos cult, and blah, 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 war breaks out. It's some kind of rebellion, right? People are being turned away from the Imperial Creed. And this, a lot of the time, is handled by guardsmen. If depending on scale, a lot of the time it's just handled by guardsmen, because you don't have endless space marines to throw at everything, So a lot of the time you end up with stuff like, the whole Gaunt's Ghost series, right? Their whole thing is they're among this massive army of other groups of guardsmen, all fighting against this giant chaos cult. And there's only space marines involved at 4 random points in it. And even then, they're on this big mission at one point, and 3 space marines turn up, all from different chapters, because you can't spare space marines that much. They've got more important shit to do. So you get 3 from different groups, because they can all only spare 1. Right?
So usually guardsmen handle this shit, but for some reason this time, some Space Marines got involved. They were, I guess, nearby or had nothing better to do. Just sounded like a good day out, I guess. But it is the it's the Angels Numinous. So one of the other successor chapters of the Blood Angels that are the ones that go to handle this, right? So they send some of their Space Marines to go deal with this uprising in Callius, and they kind of get their arses kicked pretty badly, which was unexpected. Because you hear Chaos Uprising, you're thinking like people, cutting their own faces up with a knife before running at their neighbor to stab them and things like that, right? The issue comes from the fact that it wasn't a normal Chaos Uprising in the sense that the Black Legion were involved. So Abaddon's ilk were actually running around in this area as well. So you had to fight like the whole populace of this area who were all now Chaos cultists, as well as actual Chaos Space Marines running around. So Angels Luminous were kind of caught, by surprise with that one, with a real threat, and kind of got their arses kicked. So they put out a bit of a call for help. Like, we're kind of getting stopped here, lads. Let's go, someone come and give us a bit of backup. Obviously, Blood Angels hear this request for aid, and they know that the Angels Numinous are not pansies. They know they're not going to get fucked over by a bunch of random humans, right? So, like, all right, real threat. Let's send in some real numbers here. So, 3 full companies of Blood Angels get sent in, including the 8th, with Dante in charge. And, they're spread out across the whole Callius subsector, right? So it's a lot of planets involved here. So you've got little groups of them getting sent all over the place. And what it leads to, because they're spread so thin, is almost like trench warfare. Because neither side really has the numbers or the firepower to just charge the other side, right? Because there are Chaos Space Marines around here, but they're basically in the same numbers as the Blood Angels are now, because they're all spread over all the different planets of this subsector, that none have like a great enough number in one area to like wipe across the battlefield. So you end up with them like garrisoning buildings and firing back and forth at each other, and it just drags on and on and on. And like the Chaos people are getting decimated, but the Blood Angels are getting worn down too. And it just turns into this like slow meat grinder where no one's making any real progress, but the numbers are just gradually going down, with like front lines never really moving in either direction.
Yeah.
And obviously this starts to look pretty grim for the Blood Angels, because they only sent in 3 companies. So their numbers are limited, but the other side of it, the Chaos upside of it, is more Black Legion are coming in gradually, and also they have the entire civilian population of this whole subsector, which is billions of humans. They might be cannon fodder, but cannon fodder is still like a thing in war. It still counts for something.
Yeah.
So it becomes an issue. Eventually, the Blood Angels send in more and more troops as it goes on, and this same situation repeats because both sides are gradually gaining reinforcements. And this goes on until basically the entire Blood Angels chapter is there fighting in this subsector. And again, same situation plays out. It never really changes. They just keep getting ground down till their numbers are basically dwindling. And this is when things kind of swap over a bit, because reinforcements turn up. Because the Blood Angels, they're just kind of done. Their numbers are exhausted. Their troops are exhausted. They can't keep maintaining this front line because they don't have enough guys to do it. Luckily, reinforcements finally turn up, and it's in the form of like 12 guards regiments, which is a shitload of guardsmen, along with a handful of different Space Marine chapters throwing some Space Marines into the mix to take up the place of the Blood Angels. So now the Empire or Imperium side has more troops in the field than the Chaos troops do. So it looks like they're going to win now, and the Blood Angels did their part, maintaining things till a proper reinforcement could be, organized. So Blood Angels retreat from the front line as they're replaced by these guardsmen and the other Space Marines that turn up. And the idea is they're all going to regroup and head back to Baal to, lick their wounds kind of thing, right? Get their numbers back up, get everyone some rest, maintain their gear a bit. So they all get back into their ships and they all converge over a planet called Callias Landing. I guess is like one of the main worlds in this area. But so basically the entire Blood Angels fleet is over this one planet. And again, heavily reduced numbers. They do not have the men to effectively run these ships, even though humans do the vast majority of it. You still need Space Marines in a lot of positions, and they don't have the guys to do it effectively at this point. And as they're kind of converging over this planet, a Black Legion fleet turns up thinking, this is a great way to just wipe out the Blood Angels once and for all, because they're fucked. We can just erase them right here, get rid of an original founding chapter once and for all. Yeah. So the whole Chaos fleet just rocks up to fuck these guys up. And it kind of goes about as well as you'd expect. A few Chaos ships get destroyed. A bunch more Blood Angels ones get fucked up. There's a lot of boarding actions, the Chaos troops going onto the Blood Angel ships and Blood Angels guys going onto the Chaos ones. I'm pretty sure by the end of it, Dante and his guys alone have taken out something like 8 capital class cruisers, which is pretty impressive because they're just boarding them and destroying them from the inside out, basically. Which is quite impressive. And the kind of end point of this is one of the Chaos ships destroys the bridge of the Blood Angels flagship, the Blood Caller. So it's like a missile barrage, wipes like the command bridge clean off of their flagship. And obviously this does a lot of damage to Blood Angels' morale and like command cohesion. So Chaos guys are like, oh, we've got this now. We've taken out their leader, like we'll wipe them out, no problem. There's no risk anymore. And then the Angels Numinous come in from behind and fucking wreck them. So they did return the favor for the Blood Angels turning up to save them when they were getting fucked up in Callias to begin with. Their fleet turns up just to kick the Chaos guys in the arse. But the damage is done by this point, Saved them from extinction, but didn't really save them, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, they do a head count after this, and there's like 200 Blood Angels left of the entire chapter. That's it. And also, their chapter master is dead because he was in the bridge of the Blood Caller when it was annihilated. So they have no leader and about 200 guys left.
Yeah.
So this, well, I think this is the closest the chapter ever came to like actual extinction. So this is like the darkest days the Blood Angels have ever seen since like Sanguinius died. Yeah, it's pretty bad.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah. So on the journey back to Baal, with like what little they have left, really, right? On the journey back, the few remaining council members that they have, so they have a council made up of like sanguinary priests and chaplains and stuff, so like medics and chaplains, for the sake of helping make decisions on big matters, right? But they kind of act in a weird way. They have this like role that they have to play as a council, which is they decide the next chapter master from the captains, because the captains are all candidates basically every time it comes up. So these guys have to get together and hold a little council and basically vote on who they want to be the next chapter master when one is needed. Obviously, it's a really reduced number of council members compared to what it should be because only 200 Space Marines left, and they have very few captains to pick from because the captains died too. Every time I think about this, I'm always like, it's like they're picking a pope. Because they do that with a pope, there's like a certain group that they're allowed to pick from, and the council get together and they vote on who's going to be the next pope. So yeah, it's kind of like picking a pope, which is interesting. So
Very
from now on,
relevant as well.
Pope Dante. Yeah, so the issue with this whole situation comes in from the fact that Dante was the only captain that survived that whole thing.
Yeah.
He was literally the last captain that survived. So this council got together and basically just had to sit there and go, I don't want to make Dante chapter master because he's been captain for like 20 years. He does not know what he's doing. He is not fit to be chapter master. And then the next guy on the table would go, yeah, but we literally don't have a choice. We literally have to make him chapter master by our own rules. You're like, but I also don't want to make him chapter master because he is not qualified yet. He does not have the experience to do it. And they basically all just went around in a circle complaining about the fact that they had no option but to make Chapter Master Dante a thing. So yeah, by the time they get to Baal, they have to announce that literally none of their captains have returned from this fight. Only like 200 Space Marines survived, and their Chapter Master is dead. But they also have a new Chapter Master. This is Dante. Good luck. It's pretty grim, right?
Yeah.
But this is how he ends up being, like this Dante, a big heroic figure Dante. That he basically tripped and fell into being chapter master at the darkest possible time for his chapter. Like, it couldn't have been a worse situation to get a promotion. It's like becoming captain of the Titanic after it's hit an iceberg. You're like, well, what the fuck is the point? Right? You know what I mean? It's like, great, captain of the SS sinking ship now. Obviously, we know for a fact Dante brings the chapter back from the edge of ruin and grows to become possibly the most respected tactician and leader in the Imperium of all his time. That only changes after Gilliman returns, and that's because he's a fucking demigod, so obviously he wins. But until that point, there is like 3 people in the Imperium that anyone even remotely brings up next to Dante's name. And it's like the Great Wolf of the Space Wolves and things like that, right? There's very few people. To be fair, the I can't remember his name, I've just blanked it, but the guy who's in charge of the Ultramarines also is considered to be, an amazing tactician and one of the greatest heroes. But it's basically those 3 are the only 3 that are talked about in the same breath as each other. You don't compare these people to anyone else kind of thing, So Dante really does grow to be, like a hero fitting of his title well after he gets the title, which is quite funny. Really rose to the occasion.
Yeah.
Now, there is like a next major event we're going to go to. There is a little bit I want to do first, just for, for the sake of it. Because there is like a proper, heroic reputation around Dante, right? Which obviously builds as time goes on, right? And since this point where he first gets promoted, Dante has gotten fucking old, right? He's old even for a Space Marine, right? Like, he is actively aging, which Space Marines are functionally immortal, as far as we're aware. We've never seen one die of old age. So the fact that he is visibly aging is actually, like, it really proves how old this guy is. But he has built a fair legend behind him. So I thought I'd give you a few of his, like, greatest hits of the legends about him. I do want to make something clear, is that whether or not any of these are true is totally up for question, because these stories have been being told for so long that every time they're told, it becomes slightly more ridiculous. So the legends do not match reality at all, as far as Dante is concerned. He's like, yeah, that's not at all what happened.
Yeah.
But like, keep going, lads. So, just as a couple of examples, he allegedly, or he did fight orcs on a planet called Canaan, but every time someone tells the story, the number of orcs changes. So during the liberation of Canau, it is said that Dante essentially beheaded an ungodly number of orcs, right? At the moment, it's up at like the tens of thousands, which is insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. He allegedly cut the Bloodthirster Scarbrand in half. Yeah,
Okay.
allegedly bisected a Bloodthirster, especially one as like famous as Scarbrand, so that's fun. He single-handedly fought a squad of Night Lord assassins that were coming to kill him. He killed every one of them on his own with no weapons or armor. This man was allegedly naked, fighting off 13 Night Lord assassins. And won. Yeah.
I forgot one, Ryan.
What's
one.
that?
The time that he saved Christmas.
Yes, that too.
I'm sorry. Single-handedly, by the way.
Yeah, single-handedly delivered presents all across the galaxy in one night.
Yeah.
His powers know no bounds. So obviously, these legends are likely almost completely false at this point, right? The reality is he probably just fought a lot of orcs on Tano, because there's always a lot of orcs. He probably fought and defeated Scarbrand rather than bisected the giant demon. And I mean, he probably did kill the Night Lords, to be fair, actually. I don't know if he was naked and weaponless at the time, but he probably did actually just kill them. It probably wasn't 13, it was probably like 5. Like, but, these things grow, right? That said, he obviously does live up to these legends in a way, right? Because the important thing about Dante is he is a hero of the Imperium. He is one of the greatest heroes in Imperial history. And that legend is more important than the reality, right? Because the legend obviously brings hope to all the Imperium's people whenever they hear his name, right? If you're like, we are, like, our entire world is being destroyed by, some crazy chaos demons, and then you hear that there's, like, red painted fucking Space Marines charging through the streets, led by Commander Dante, you're suddenly like, man, fuck these demons, let's have at them. Like, you're not afraid anymore because the greatest hero of the fucking galaxy is charging down the street, spilling blood left, right, and center. And in the exact same way, imagine you're like, a relatively new recruit to a Chaos War band, and you're like, let's go fuck up this random planet. And then you hear Dante's coming, you're like, oh, fuck this, I'm out, bail.
Yeah, I'm not having that. I'm not having that.
I do not fancy my chances against this guy. Like, the plot armor on this dude is so severe, I have no chance. I ain't even scratching it. So, the legend is more important than the reality is the important thing to deal with, or to think about when it comes to Dante, right? But he obviously does actually live up to his reputation as an amazing warrior and an even better leader. Because, remember, in the Orc season, we covered the Second War for Armageddon. And when all the different groups of Space Marines turn up to try and, like, fend off Gazkul's horde, Dante's the one they all put in charge of, like, leading their defensive. Yeah. Because he's an amazing tactician. And that itself speaks to the fact that that is actually a true thing. That is a fact. He does live up to his reputation as being an amazing leader, because even people of his, or even people that aren't of his chapter are like, he's our best bet for winning this fight, is letting him tell us what to do. Like Salamanders and Ultramarines and everything else will all just go, yeah, follow him. He might not be our guy, but he fucking knows what he's doing. Like,
yeah, I mean, that is. I feel like that's also been one of his characteristics throughout the whole story we've had about him. Like, even with the trials.
Yeah, he was always a great leader. The scale
like,
just grew.
tactician as well as tacticians as well. I remember in one of the specific trials where they had to, attack.
Oh, the
and,
capture the flag,
yeah. And he was the tactician behind it.
Yeah, that's it. He doesn't have to be the biggest or the strongest because he's the smartest.
Nope. He's
and
the
now he's
smartest
also the biggest and strongest.
and smartest. Triple threat.
I know for a fact there is one guy who's definitely bigger than him, and we have covered him. Aryak Rockfist would pick this guy up and shake him.
Yeah. Cool with most though, right? Like,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
he can basically do it with like a Tyranid Bio Titan if he wants to. Just pick it up by the scruff like a cat and carry it around if he wants to. So, yeah, it's
pick it by its neck. You've been naughty. Just take out the trash.
That's it. Ear jail.
You're going into the naughty corner.
Bad Tyranids go in the volcano. That's the rule.
Into the incinerator.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
gone. Yeah. It's the only way to get rid of them. They're like cockroaches. They survive, and I think the only way to get rid of them is volcano. Turn them ash.
Burn them.
Yeah.
Yeah, burn them to a crisp.
That's it. So, right, that's kind of the build up of the legend of Dante and him becoming chapter master and becoming the legend that he is, right? So we're gonna move on. Probably gonna start on the next episode because we're like half an hour in now, so there's no point in really going for it. The next episode we're gonna do some building blocks and some prep work. So it's probably gonna be like a half and half kind of thing, where the first half we're gonna talk about like the prep work for the devastation of Baal, which is like the biggest storyline for the Blood Angels overall, right?
Okay.
And the other half of the episode will probably be telling you about Mephiston, who is like the second in command to this guy in a way. Mephiston is the head of the Librarius for the Blood Angels, so he's like their chief psyker. So he kind of stands shoulder to shoulder with Dante in a lot of ways. Not specifically in rank, but like otherwise, they're basically like side by side in everything they do. And you kind of need to know his storyline for Dante's moving forward from the devastation of Baal. So I figure it's a good time to do it in the preparation for it. It has a really interesting story, though. You're going to love it. Dude dies like 5 times and just keeps coming back. It's great.
Like Kenny.
Yeah, he's basically Kenny, but like a giant emo vampire. Yeah, that's it, yeah. Well, I think that's us for today.
Well then, do you want me to round it off?
Yeah, go for it.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Iterators of the Imperium podcast. It's been me, Mess, and Ryan, and we'll catch you in the next one for some more shenanigans.
You.
Take care and peace.
Bye.